What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I talk a lot about anxiety here, and I really try to focus and emphasize recovery, turning anxiety into a blessing, turning it into an opportunity for you to grow as a person. But there are dark sides to anxiety, and trust me, there was a period of time where I really did not think I was going to ever fully recover from this. And I want to talk about that because I know a lot of you are there. Maybe some of you aren't there yet, maybe some of you are on the other side, but regardless, it's a part of an anxiety journey, okay? So we're gonna talk about that. But you know what time it is? Smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment, let me know where you are in your anxiety journey. Are you recovering? Are you in the place that I'm gonna discuss today, a dark place where you just don't have much hope? You know, you don't think that you're gonna be able to recover? Let us know down below. You're not alone. This is a community. So if you are new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. So in the beginning of my anxiety journey, there was a lot of fear, obviously, despair, restlessness, confusion, pain, a lot of pain. I didn't really have any acceptance at all. I guess the only positive things that I did for me, my recovery, was getting constant reassurance, which that only goes so far. Eventually you have to get away from that. You know that if you have health anxiety. But I was doing that a lot, and that reassurance was going away quicker and quicker each time I seeked it. So I had that issue. Sometimes I would try to look up how anxiety could cause some of the symptoms that I was dealing with and attempt to help me with my my reassurance or my acceptance. I guess that's an okay thing to do as well. I mean, I make a lot of videos like that on this channel, so obviously, you know, I think it can help some people, make them feel less alone. So that was what I was doing. I wasn't working a routine, no program, no therapy, no rewiring, definitely not facing my triggers and fears. I thought I could just avoid this and, you know, maybe my anxiety would get down and then I'd go do those things, and that's not how it works. It does not work that way. So I was super symptom focused, symptom this, symptom that. Just downright miserable, and then you throw multiple panic attacks a day going into fight or flight. Oh my God, you know, every day I'm thinking I'm dying. So that's how it was in the beginning. If there was any silver lining aside from the getting reassurance, you know, which is smart in the beginning from a doctor or looking up some occasional videos, I had this false sense of hope, okay? Which isn't the greatest mindset, but at least there was a sliver of hope that maybe this thing was just a phase, that maybe it would go away as quickly as it came on. And again, it's false hope because sure, it kept my spirits up a little bit, just hoping and praying and pleading that it would go away, but it's also a pretty dangerous mindset to have. It's like a double-edged sword. Like, that kept me from being aggressive with recovery efforts. It kept me from rewiring. It kept me from exposing myself to fear. So I was just in this limbo for the first couple of years. And I remember it's probably like a year and a half to a couple years in. I was still into my cardiophobia. And I remember this particular day, I woke up and I was like, holy crap, this is not going away. It isn't going to just go away. This may be who I am for the rest of my life. You know, there's many different types of acceptance. There's the acceptance that anxiety is causing these symptoms instead of a disease. I did not have that acceptance. You know, there's acceptance of, like, this is, you know, where I'm at right now, but it doesn't mean that this is going to be who I am for the rest of my life. I didn't have that acceptance. I was skipping those and going to, like, I'm about to just accept that this is how I'm going to be the rest of my life. And that was miserable. You know, I was in true defeat that day. You know, I was really struggling that day. And, you know, I carried that mindset around for probably another half of a year. Like, this is going to be who I am. It's always going to be hard for me to struggle to get a job. You know, maybe disability is something I should think about. You know, maybe I should do the medication that I've, you know, always tried to stay away from. Maybe I am going to have to take Xanax to control my panic, you know. And, you know, one of the reasons I didn't seek therapy was I was afraid of what other people would think, which if you're struggling with that, you gotta work on you. You know what I mean? This is not a time to worry about what others think. Luckily, mental health awareness is a lot better than what it was back then, so you'll likely be supported, for making that decision. It's important to get help, so if you haven't, do that. Super important. Where was I? So I was thinking like maybe I should start doing those things, but not for the right reasons. I was just basically throwing in the towel, and I was like, this is gonna be who I am. It's gonna be hard for me to hold a job. I'm gonna suck at relationships. I'm gonna always be asking for reassurance. I'm always gonna fear death and dying until the end of my life, because I'm never gonna be able to escape that, right? So that fear is always gonna be there. I'm gonna always have panic attacks. It's gonna be hard for me to drive. I'm not gonna be able to travel, not do roller coasters, fly on a plane, all these things. I developed tons of freaking triggers, and I was just basically accepting that was gonna be the rest of my life. And because I had that mindset, I was correct. So I'm here to tell you that today. If you believe that, you are correct. Because that was what I was thinking consciously. And that's whenever I started telling my subconscious that this is going to be the new normal, that this is going to be how we are, that it is okay for us to be in fear nonstop, right? And since my subconscious is 95% of me, that's what I was programming to 95% of me. So then whenever I tried to start working new things and, try to make changes consciously that were proactive, and especially getting into recovery, that's what I was dealing with. I'm trying to change 95% of what I programmed to fear, and just thinking that this is going to be the rest of my life, to like, no, this doesn't have to be the rest of our life. And I guess my biggest moment whenever I finally got some hope was, again, and I talked about this before, I'll make it brief, but I was having a massive panic attack, and I was going to go to the ER to get checked out for a heart attack again. I was like, here we go. And I was like, you know what? No, I need to go see if this is a heart attack or a panic attack. So I went out and ran. My panic attack actually went away, and I was like, oh my God, it wasn't a heart attack. This means that I don't have a heart problem. And that's when I finally got over my cardiophobia. And I was like, oh my God, like I can beat this whole freaking thing. I can. There is hope. And it sparked new hope. And from then on, I still struggled with health anxiety for another couple years, but I was gaining momentum, as weeks and then months would pass by. I was gaining control. My panic attacks started to go away. I started working, more of a routine. I implemented, diet and exercise. I cut out all the bad habits and things like that. So I started to gain a lot of momentum, and I started telling myself, look, it is possible for me to recover. And you have to think about it. You have to have that mindset with your conscious mind that I am going to recover. I don't know how long it's going to take. I know I'm going to struggle. I know I'm going to have my ups and downs, but I know for a fact it's going to happen. So subconscious, you can keep sending me these symptoms, these messages, that's fine, but you're eventually going to catch up to what I'm doing. And see, I think that's the real struggle with people trying to recover and get better, is that they do try to accept, I tried to accept many times before, but and try to be positive. But your subconscious is so used to you being negative, it doesn't necessarily agree. So, and it probably won't for a while. And it's like, are you going to stick with routine and strategy and exposure and all this stuff, basically while you have symptoms for that period of time, however long it could be? Is it a few weeks? Is it a few months before you start seeing those results that you want? I don't know. I can't tell you. But a lot of people give up. People think that it should happen in a matter of a few days of trying to accept, or starting mindfulness, or starting exercise, or exposure. People think it's supposed to be a few days, maybe a week or two. Hell, maybe even a month isn't long enough. We have to create new habits. We have to rewire, so it's going to take time. But it's not possible if you don't believe it's possible. So you have to recover consciously before you recover subconsciously. When I came to that realization, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is gold. We recover consciously before we recover subconsciously. Just like anybody that's set their mind to anything, they believed that they were going to do it before they were able to do it. They believed that they were the best before they were the best. Conscious comes before subconscious. The subconscious will catch up as long as you're consistent with your conscious actions. So that's why routine is important every day. That's why exposing yourself to your fears is important every day. That's why self-love and positive self-talk and practicing acceptance is needed every single day. And even if you have a bad day, you get back on the horse the next day and you go hard, okay? Don't let that one bad day turn into a bad week, and now it's a month, and then you're just having these setbacks, right? So I just want you guys to understand that you have to believe that you're going to recover, and start telling your subconscious that every single day, multiple times a day, for it to actually be possible. And unfortunately, having the self-pity and the feeling sorry for yourself, and I'm trying to be sensitive here because I was definitely there, it becomes comfortable for you. You know, it was much more comfortable for me to be like, why me? Why did this happen to me? You know, oh, this sucks. You know, gosh, man, I thought I was meant for more and all this stuff. I can't do this, I can't do that. And that was the language that I had, and it was never gonna fix me. And again, don't be in that mindset also at the beginning, like, I'm gonna just wait for the motivation. I'm gonna wait to feel good enough to do these things. Or I'm gonna wait for my anxiety to just disappear. Give me a good day to start doing the things I need to do, or establish a routine, or expose, whatever it is that you're trying to do, tools wise. Don't get in that mindset, because it'll never happen like that. You have to put in the work, and honestly, there's a lot of suffering and anxiety recovery. It's just needed. Overcoming anxiety in the end really is about overcoming fear, and the only way that you can overcome fear is by facing it, and there can be suffering in facing it. You have to embrace being uncomfortable, embrace the suffering, because you understand it's the only way to get to your goal, which is recovery. Be excited about that process too. Like, you're gonna grow, but there's pain and suffering and growth too, right? So I want you guys to know, like, there was that point for me where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get out of this. And it was dark, and it lasted for months, and it was miserable. And no, I didn't get out of it, you know, as long as I thought that. But I was able to muster up a little bit of self-motivation. It was probably driven by anger to run that day that I was having that panic attack instead of going to the ER. But it was worth it, because it sparked something that was amazing that propelled me into eventual anxiety recovery. So just understand, you got to change your conscious perspective, and then the subconscious will follow suit. Just the likelihood is a lot of you aren't sticking with it long enough, and you're getting discouraged and you're throwing in the towel. And I did that over and over again. So don't be like me, right? That's what the goal of this channel is, to help you not make the same mistakes that I made. But I hope you got some value out of this. I want you to go down below in the comments, and I want you to comment, we recover consciously before we recover subconsciously. We recover consciously before we recover subconsciously. And you're going to hear from a lot of people that you can't recover from anxiety disorder once you have it, and that's depressing as F. Honestly, it's depressing as hell. I hate that statement because it keeps people from even trying, you know? And I read that over and over again. I heard professionals on videos say stuff like that, and it's just freaking downright discouraging, right? But I haven't had a panic attack in close to 7 years. I 110% recovered. I don't have health anxiety. I don't obsess about my health. I don't Google my symptoms. I don't have the sensitivity. I don't feel everything in my body. I've changed my perspective on death. I don't fear it the same way that I did before, so it allows me to actually live a happy life. I'm living the life that I deserve. And actually, I grew from the anxiety recovery itself. I'm living a better life now than I did before. So I want you to have that perspective change. I want anxiety to actually be a blessing in your life. So if you need help with that, you're tired of anxiety, you're tired of suffering, struggling, being symptom focused, tired of not getting sleep, you're tired of this whole thing, please get into my Elite Anxiety Bootcamp course. I'm going to put that down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. It's going to give you the strategy, but most importantly, the perspective and the mindset to defeat the enemy, anxiety. It's how I recovered from anxiety 100%. My step-by-step blueprint shows you what I did from the time that I woke up until I went to sleep. So please be a part of that. Tons of testimonials always coming out from that course. I want your life to change just like so many others. Their lives are changing as well. So I want you to be a part of that with them. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Also, down below in the description, online therapy link is there. I mentioned therapy earlier in this video. Get help. If you've never tried therapy, if there's the stigma finally is breaking down on getting help, which is amazing. Don't shy away from going and getting diagnosed or getting some help from a therapist. Try that out. Don't be like me. I didn't do it because, I was afraid of what others would think of me. Don't be like me. Also, down below, my TikTok, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Twitter, all my social media stuff, free Facebooks, all of that is down there. Please hit like if you got some value. Remember, if you are new here, subscribe and hit the bell so you get updated when I put these videos out. But until next time, guys, keep fighting. I love you all.